this city, legends are real. The ordinary sleep to sweet dreams, filled with hope and wonder, while those awake see things for what they are, a nightmarish labyrinth made of steel and concrete. Gods and monsters walk among us, from that waitress by that 24/7 diner under the bridge, or that clerk working at the gas station. They could be anyone. And just like anyone, we search for answers to some hard questions. But life sometimes gets in the way, gets complicated, sometimes messy even. Stick around if you want to hear a strange tale or two. Best do it before the mist rolls in. In this city, the mist is our mistress of mysteries. In this city, the mist is our mistress.
Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with us at All Nerds here for our Royal Flush Wildcards adventure. We're going to be continuing from our last session, so we're going to have a lot of fun here. This is still their second case they're working on, and we'll go over a quick recap of that in a moment. But I just want to say, first off, thanks to our sponsor, So Nerdwear, for that's what all the nerds wear. Please use the promo code RASSLE.
Oh no,
for
we
10%
changed
off.
the promo code, but I don't
you
know.
changed the promo code without
No,
telling me?
and then I forgot.
How can you
forgot.
not-
No,
how
okay.
can you not know that you changed the promo
Number
code?
one, I don't know if it's changed. I asked him to change it, but I don't know if it's changed.
Oh, Amy says the new promo code is all merch here.
It is all merch here if it's been
Well, that's
changed on the
good.
website. So I
So
forgot
please
to.
use the new promo code all merch here.
I'm sorry, I'm the worst.
And
And
it
then,
doesn't
and then
work.
go
I
back
guess
to all
you
the other videos and comment that and say all nerds merch instead of for us.
You already fucked it up. All nerds merch is not the promo code, Jackie.
All merch here. It's all merch
All
here.
merch here.
I would just like to chime in that those of you who are tuning in, we run a very tight ship here,
Oh, yeah.
and we are a well-functioning machine.
Just
Yeah,
start it
sure.
over.
We'll go-
Just
we'll
run
go
the,
with
run
that.
the pre-roll again, and we'll tell you from the top.
From the top, let it drop.
All right.
That's a whap.
Yeah, All Blank here is our brand, and that was started by the amazing All Disasters Here crew. Let's be real. We got to give them props.
Yeah, that's true. We missed them. We want, but you can see them on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't we have everyone introduce themselves and their mythos for today and who they're playing? Why don't we start with Angela?
Hello there, viewers. While I stifle several giggles that are trying to emerge out of me, hi, I'm Angela. I'm going to be playing Miriam Rocobado, who is a death doula / hospice caregiver, and who has the mythos of Xipe Totec, otherwise known as our Lord of the Flayed Skin, residing within her.
Awesome. Thank you, Angela. And let's do Simon.
Yeah, it's me, Simon. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Perdita Glass, whose pronouns are she, her, and her mythos is Alice in Wonderland.
Yes. Thank you, Simon. And Smurf, who's not
Hi,
a
everybody.
Transformer.
I sometimes am.
He's a
Smurf.
replicant!
You heard the
Today-
ringtone.
I am playing Tomathan's Two Sticks.
Tomathan.
Our pronouns are he, him, both me and Tommy, and it's gonna be a good time. We're already off the rails, so fuck
Yeah.
it.
I think Jackie was generous when he said 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't gonna last 5 minutes. And Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate. My pronouns are she, her, as well as Faith's, and I play Faith Hughes. She's a grad student, kind of social worker, and she has the mythos of the Scottish Wolver, the benevolent werewolf.
Yes, the one that gives you fish.
Yeah,
Fish. Lots of
makes
fish.
me happy.
Awesome. So just a quick recap from
Who
our
are you,
case.
Jackie? Jackie, who are you?
Oh, I'm your master of ceremonies who gets to play all the other NPCs that makes either Kay swoon over and or feels upset about.
It's a true statement.
Those are really the only two genres of NPC.
Either make me swoon over or upset about them. Yeah.
Yep. There is nothing else. You never come across an NPC that you're like, eh.
I feel like I do a good job with the ones you were upset about, though.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Carrying on. Carrying on.
Carrying on. So our case started back a few episodes ago with a burglar named Nizumi who contacted Faith about looking into the mysterious death of her ex-crime partner, Abigail Williams, who is also known as the Hare. And under mysterious circumstances, Abigail had died, and after taking the case, Miriam went into the morgue to kind of assess the body and try to see what is going on with that. And there seems to be a lot of uncertain circumstances related with the hospital director, and a very mysterious figure who wears like a nice business suit and tie, and as an Asian man, and just seems to have a bunch of men around him as well. Tommy Two Sticks, unfortunately, has got in trouble for the entire robbery incident that occurred in the docks, and his job at the docks had put Tommy on suspension without pay for an undisclosed amount of time. So Tommy has been resorting to eating a lot of mozzarella sticks.
2 at a time.
And Perdita has been looking into the case and trying to gather up whatever information she can about Abigail's conditions in the Newgate Penitentiary. The warden is a mythos that Perdita is aware of. And the warden has informed Perdita that, as far as they knew, Abigail had apparently a run-in with a former criminal that Perdita had put away. Actually, they're a pair of criminals. They are actually the mythos for the Mad Hatter and the Mad Hare. So, Perdita has to consider what that could mean and probably need to make some further calls or make a visit to the penitentiary. And I think that is pretty much all of what's been happening so far in our case so far. So let's start with let's go ahead and start with Faith and Tommy. Last time, you also had a nice little downtime activity where you both went out of just a little out of the outskirts of the town, of the city, and to an abandoned warehouse, playing fetch, having a good time. So you all also found out that, Faith, you were being tailed by allegedly a detective. And so the both of you have a lot to think about, and I think the last time we left off, you are all back in the alleyway, if I'm correct. So let's pick up from the alleyway where Faith and Tommy have just finished telling everyone about their little run-in.
I thought we met with Nizumi after that, though, didn't we?
Nizumi did give a visit and then leave afterwards.
Okay. Because Perdita took the pictures and developed them, so all of that. Okay.
Yeah, and Miriam was the one who escorted Nizumi out.
Yes, because I think one of the last roles was invoking like the last words from Abigail. That's why I was one of the last people to talk with her.
Yeah. So let's see. You all have some choices on where you need to go to visit, or at least gather more information. You all want to talk it over a little bit amongst yourselves?
Beyond what we know.
I think more to figure out which is our next direction, because we
Yeah.
have the penitentiary is one option, the hospital is a growing option.
Mm-hmm.
We should really
Mhm.
figure that out. That
Yeah.
seems like a lot of what is right in front of us keeps coming back there.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a good place to
IMO.
look.
I just need something to do.
Yeah. Oh boy, I really don't want to go to the hospital. I really don't want to find out how bad this is.
I hate to break your heart, but nobody wants to go to the hospital.
I mean, yeah.
Not in this
it-
capitalistic hellhole that we live in.
it's bad, but
It's more like a bankruptcy depot, if you know what I mean.
it's yeah, pretty much. Yeah, honestly, it seems like the hospital might be the best spot to go next,
Okay.
if everyone agrees with that.
All right. Well, it is the evening, so it would be probably best to do it probably in the morning.
Yeah.
And hit that. So I'm gonna say some. So I'll say for the evening, you all adjourn home. And go through your nightly rituals, whichever they may be. And let me see here. Perdita, what are you thinking of? What are you thinking about in regards to all these connections with all these rabbits that keep popping up in your life so far?
The universe is trying to tell me something. Perdita's a pattern matcher, like all humans, but more so. Right? So she's really mostly. If something happens once, it's interesting. If it happens twice, it's not a coincidence. It's like there's something is at work here. And if multiple rabbits are like popping up around her and like getting connected to her, and she's aware that like this is her mythos, like it's not just one that she's trying to chase. There's multiple rabbits that she needs to be chasing after. So I think she is imagining that she has to like find and talk to one of them. She's only heard about them. She hasn't actually talked to any of them and been like, yo, what's our connection?
That's true. That is very true. So for the most part, yeah. And you do know that the Mad Hare is put away in the penitentiary, and I feel like as much as after you got back to your office apartment, right, that you're sitting there thinking about it, and I kind of want to do a move where you're thinking about, yes, you do have to go to the hospital. The hospital is a very clear place there's a lot of things related to it. A lot of it seems to be there, but you kind of want to know the answers about what is your connection with the rabbit and your mythos. So I want to say that this is me kind of, I want to say if anything, it's kind of, I'm not exactly invoking anything, but it's kind of me, it's something that's lingering in your back of your head for Perdita. And
Yeah,
you
for
feel
sure.
like, I will say, you feel like as if a lot of your other questions about your mythos seems to be there. So, yeah, because they don't actually give me something like that as a move. Okay, but I think that'll be something to think about, and I think I will probably lean on that. So for me, I will consider this for me a soft move, on the fact that I'm just nudging that there is something there for you.
Cool.
And okay, all right. Tommy, you head home. Your belly's full of mozzarella sticks. What are you thinking about as you sit home, knowing that probably you still can't go back to work tomorrow?
I probably get home and I pour myself a nice stiff drink. Probably a couple fingers of like a Macallan. I sit down in my chair, kind of like, yeah, 2 fingers, obviously. I
feel
look
like it just wouldn't be the same if it wasn't.
Yeah. Like as he sits down in his chair, it like cuts to like how he's holding the glass, and it's his 2 fingers, and like the liquor does not go like directly above it at all. As he's holding it, he kind of looks at like some of his work clothes, like hastily have been taken off and like thrown on a couch, and he just kind of stares at him. I imagine at one point he kind of looks over at the answering machine. The light is blinking red, like indicating there's a message. And he goes over and he kind of hits the button and listens to like a message that came in from a coworker talking about like some bullshit. And like as it starts to like play through, he just hits delete and moves on just to clear it, like not interested in thinking about it.
Okay.
He probably spends a couple minutes finishing his drink and taking a drag on a cigarette. And you can tell that like he's calm, but he's incredibly anxious. That he's thinking about work and he's kind of afraid to go to sleep and to stop because he doesn't know what the next day is going to hold.
Ooh, I like that. I think so. I will give you a status for this one, Smurf, and I'm going to call it. It's going to be anxious at a 2.
Okay.
It's just eating you up, not knowing what is happening at the docks, not going back to work, not knowing if you're going to still have a job at the end of the day, and it's eating away at you. It preoccupies a lot of your thoughts, and I feel as if that is just something that fits very well right now for Tommy.
Okay.
So that will most of the time most likely be a negative, but we'll see what happens with that because we can probably see if I'm curious to see if you can find a turnaround for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go with Angela. So let's go with Miri. Miri, you're heading home. Is there any place you usually like to stop on your way home?
I think before she heads home, she would just double check with Faith real quick just to see like, do you still want to stay at my place?
I think I'm gonna try to go to my line tonight, but thank you. I'll let you know if I don't feel safe there.
Yeah. I'm usually up pretty quick for really anything. I have a lot of trouble sleeping, so really it's no bother if you want to check in. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah. I think depending on how late we were out, if there's any sort of like small stores or anything of that sort along the way in the city that works with like that sells like gardening equipment or things of that sort, I think she would stop by there probably to pick up some extra supplies and start like setting aside tonight. Like she doesn't necessarily have a spare like uniform per se for like working in the garden, but she like getting gloves, like tilling lands or stuff, and like just better things just to manage like actually tending to a garden and such.
I think what I'll give you is that there is actually a 24-hour flower shop that also sells some small gardening equipment on the side. So yeah.
Yeah, I think she'd just probably go into the place, and she would, given the situation that's been happening with one of her friends, she'd probably go up to the main person who she probably knows. She's probably been in there at least a few different times before, like a regular.
Oh yeah, it's an older gentleman. He's definitely in his late 60s. He's an older man. You're always surprised to see him up so late.
Another late night?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's another late night. Not much selling of flowers. Doesn't seem like anybody wants to buy any flowers this time of night, but you never know.
Yeah, well, I can at least keep you company for a bit. Do you have I think she'd pull out her own like work gloves. I feel like she has like a special set that they always get worn down, but they never seem to get to a point where they're terrible. Like this the sewing and the threading for all of it just always seems to get redone, and she never understands why that happens. It's just always getting repaired somehow. It's like, do you have any of the she like roughly tries to remember what Tommy's size of like his hands, because I imagine like comparison to Meaty, who's like is not very
Yeah.
big person. She's trying to remember how big Tommy's hands are.
I imagine like if they put palm to palm, like Tommy's fingers like are definitely like can wrap over pretty easily, like easily like a knuckle or more larger.
Yeah, that's kind of what I imagine too. I imagine Tommy is like a pretty like well built kind of guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she would just to not dwindle too long on that scene. She would just take some time and be like, "Yeah, do you have any sense of like an outfit or like roughly for someone a little bit?" And she tries to like roughly give size comparison for what she thinks Tommy's size is.
Oh yeah, let me get to that for you. I have some spare set of clothes. A little worn, if you don't mind. It's actually from my son. He actually used to use them. I can give them to you for free, even. They're lightly used.
I'll take care and wash them and all of that. I don't know how much Tommy will even give a shit if they're washed or not, but might as well.
And he comes back with a pile. It's like, so you have like gardening apron. You have also like, he actually even brings in like some thicker shoes for handling dirt, and also for the fact it's higher, about close to the knees, for in case if you're dealing with thorns and bramble. And then also a pair of very large gloves, and also a couple of what looks like some simple tools and some gardening shears.
Yeah, not the best ones, but might be something you can work with.
Yeah, my son doesn't need them anymore, so it would be good to see them being used somewhere else.
Yeah, I got a friend who could probably use a few more things to do with his time right now.
Got a big project coming up?
More like he's having a lot of shit going down lately. Mostly just trying to give him something to do so he's not stuck in his own head the whole time.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I'm the same way. And he kind of just looks out into the misty night, and there's a little bit of a somber silence that kind of dwells over the both of you.
I think she'll head on home like after that, but like she'll kind of just turn back and feel like for just the appropriate amount of cliche and tropiness, it'll be like one of those things where, like, she checks in with him and says, I think there's a storm coming. Just stay safe, will you?
Thanks. Thank you so much. Always good to see you. You be safe.
You too. And she heads on home, and she probably spends an unnecessary amount of time trying to like put together a nice folded like set of clothes and gear and outfit and like a bag of some kind. I think she starts with paper bags from like grocery store, and then it's like, no, that's not nice enough. And then she like looks for a spare luggage. She's like, okay, that might make him feel bad. And she just spends a whole bunch of time just trying to figure out like what she thinks Tommy might like. Stuff to work with.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so let's go to Faith. Faith, as you're heading home, what are you thinking about? What is Faith thinking about on her way home to her apartment?
She's been kind of ignoring school a lot. And so I think she's thinking about that. And she's been having a lot of thoughts about, is this really what she wants? Like, they want her to do things now, and that seems the antithesis of what she's been taught this whole time, and she's just confused and struggling and doesn't understand what they want from her and why is she even doing this. And now people are following her, like cops are following her and taking photos of her, and I think it's just all of that jumble is just like and she feels more confident when she's doing things anyway, so why is she spending all this time doing school, and what does it even matter because no one cares? I think that's all the stuff that's like just jumbling around in her head.
So that leads to my next leading question.
Yeah.
Where do you go to distract yourself for the evening?
I don't
You don't immediately go home.
I think that she's gonna go home. I think she's gonna go home because she
Okay.
hasn't been home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I think
Ooh,
she has not been home.
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. Let's see here. I think. Okay, so as you're heading home, right? Where is your home?
I think I live in graduate student housing that's just like right off campus. It would make the most sense to me.
Okay.
So like a small one-person apartment, not very great. Let's be real, graduate
off-
student. It's just
Like, so
right
it's off
on the
campus?
edge of campus. Yeah, right on that
Okay.
edge.
Okay.
Yeah. Crappy.
I will say as you're getting back to your apartment, you occasionally see how does Faith feel whenever there's an occasional cop car passing through?
She doesn't feel safe. Like, I think that, she's grown up in this world where she's never been bothered by them, but I think that it's just becoming more and more that she doesn't feel safe.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, I will save that move for for something later.
Oh, great. Writing
I
that
like the
down.
game. I will say this for the game for those who are watching: if you ever get the opportunity to play this game, the MCs all have a soft move by default, which is called foreshadowing, and I like using it a lot.
Why are you like this, Jackie? I mean, I understand
Because
exactly
I'm
why
a
you're
terrible
like this.
person. All right, so we'll move into the next morning. So the city wakes up. The bits of sun peek through the misty clouds over the horizon. The city comes to life as the streets are filled, and you hear the distant sounds of car horns and people shouting at each other from either across the street or through the apartment windows, or even at each other in their cars. So if you're all going to the hospital, where I'm assuming you all agreed to a place to meet, where would you like to start this? Where would you like to gather before you make your way into the hospital?
I mean, the question is, are we taking the bitch and buy van or not?
Yeah, that is a very important question.
It's always an important question.
I think we're taking
is
the
a-
book and buy van.
Okay, I love this already. For those who haven't had the opportunity to hear about what the description of the bitch and buy van, does someone like to describe it for us?
I think the best way to describe it is you got to think A-team, but on one side is a wizard, Gandalf type with the blowing hair behind him, shooting magic, right? Is he
Mhm.
riding a dragon or not? I can't remember.
I thought he was riding a unicorn.
Oh, right, you're
He was
right.
riding a
Riding a
unicorn.
unicorn. And what's on the other side?
I've lost track. It's become its own mythos
I
unto
don't know if
itself.
it's on the other side, but
I don't remember. But anyway,
we can always. I think it was only one side, and then the other side we will have. I think we could always add on.
okay, fair. But a very bisexual Gandalf, mind you. Don't forget. It's
A
important.
very
Blurple.
nice
Blurple is the color palette.
Yeah.
purple. Yes.
Oh.
So
Amy took notes. It was a wizard on one side and a unicorn on the other. But
Okay.
we reserve right to change it at any time we want. So
yeah, that's fair.
I have a location suggestion.
oh yeah.
Okay.
cafe nearby that opens up way earlier than it should, but the reason for that is they have like a limited time window that has a really good like specialty quiche that's like not overpriced and like actually like really nice. And she's like, okay, we need somewhere that has like decent food, because I think her first thought was like, what would Perdita like? She just, or like what would work for like Perdita, because she just used to see Perdita eat a whole bunch of snacks. She's like, this place works. They also have like nice fresh baked pastries and goods and a whole bunch of stuff. So she probably gets there first to wait for everyone. She's like, this is way. She's probably anxious the whole time, but she's like,
Yeah. So, okay, so I feel like this is a good spot. And since you announced that you're alone, I feel like I need to do something fun now.
Oh god.
So I am definitely going to invoke your weakness tag of all alone, and you're prone to anxiety. So I think in this instance, I think we'll go ahead and give you the double attention, because I want to do something interesting. So here, Miriam, you're here first, right? The cafe opens around 5 in the morning because when first shift comes in for the hospital, that's usually around 5-6 in the morning usually. So it's enough time for people to come in and grab something quick and head straight to the hospital.
Yeah.
And it's just early enough that the crowd's not too busy. And I'll say that the cafe probably only stays open until like maybe 10:30 or 11, just before lunch. So you're there first, and I'll say like 5 or 6 in the morning. You're there. There's a small crowd. It's mostly just hospital staff really going in. You see an occasional patient in here who might have stayed. You may see an occasional like hospital visitor who might have stayed overnight in the line as well, probably trying to get something to eat outside of the hospital just to get out of the environment. And as you're standing there, I want to say, let's go ahead and have you. I think the move I want to see is it's not this one. I feel like so you're in the line, and as you're there, I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do a hard move here. So what happens as you're going by? You see a delivery truck coming through the street. It's going to the loading area for the hospital. As the drivers are getting out, you notice from one of the passenger sides, an Asian man comes out again. It's the one you saw before last time in the morgue. And he's wearing a suit. He has a tie. He has a short hair, has a mustache, pretty stocky build. And as he's coming out, you notice also that there are about 5 or 6 other men there as well, wearing white clothing, no markings, and they are carrying in several large crates. So they're kind of unloading right now. And you see the man kind of give a couple quick glances around before making their way in. And I want to so the move I want to impose here is I'm going to make you choose right now. So the choice that I'm going to invoke right now is the fact that you are all alone right now. You're waiting for your friends to arrive, but you see that obviously that there's someone who you've seen previously of interest to you, who's very suspicious, who's right now nearby and is unloading crates into the hospital, and this might be an opportunity for you to tail them and see where they're going. And also I'll say that you see that on the the truck, it's Sanzang Imports, which is the import company
These
that
guys.
that you have had some interesting dealings with in your first case.
Oh dear,
You see that?
that's a plot thread. Shit.
It's exactly what I was thinking, Mary.
Take it.
Oh fuck.
Take it.
Yeah. She. Is there like any like small flowers that are decorating the outside of the cafe?
Yes, there is some there are bits of, I will say, flowers growing on long planters, hanging just outside of, or not hanging, but sitting outside of the one of the cafe window.
I think by instinct she doesn't understand. She will look for one that can be picked, and
Mhm.
she will just keep it with her. And she is going to try and just poke her head out and just very carefully follow a little bit.
Okay, so I think if you're gonna do, I think for that, I think so. I think for the move, I think if you're gonna follow along, it's gonna be a sneak around that you're gonna do as a move, and go ahead and also throw in your weakness tags of all alone and prone to anxiety into that.
Joy.
And what other power tags are you going to employ for this move?
I think she will use the one that she has just I just picked up with my improvement the last session, which is
Mhm.
that flowers wilt around her when there's danger.
Ooh, I like that. So yeah, the flowers do wilt as you're walking by.
Oh God, this is such a bad idea for her. This is the worst for her.
I think the other fun thing is too, like in the hospital, because there's always flowers in a hospital. So every so often when you're walking past, so the cinematic is as you're sneaking by, as you're kind of walking through, there's like a small little vase of flowers, and as Miri walks through it, it just falls and withers away.
I mean, you can also use divide and conquer.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's gonna be relevant here.
I feel
Very
like
strong.
because you're in the hospital, right?
Hospice care would probably fit here as well.
Hospice
'cause
care. I would even say, if you want, didn't you
compassion for
have one
others.
for cutting red tape or something? Oh yeah, cutting
Yeah,
past
getting past
your-
red
Yeah.
tape because she has an alibi in the sense that like she can just say she's used to dealing with folk like this. So if they ask her like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" she'll just be like,
I work here.
"I work here. I'm part of the union heads." So yeah, so that's divide and conquer, hospice care, getting past bureaucratic red tape, and the flowers wilt around her. I think that's all I can think of that fits for this.
All right.
And
I think
that's
that
sneak
sounds
around.
good. Yeah, it's a sneak around. Let's see what happens.
Joy, jeez.
Ooh.
What?
Okay.
Okay, so
you've
that
got a
is a 9.
All right. So on a 9, you have so it gets complicated. So I get to choose. So it's still a hit. You're still able to sneak around, but it does get complicated. So I get to choose between someone unimportant notice you, but that just made them important. You are perceived only by a secondary sense. Someone picks up your scent while you're stalking them. You've been whispering a message, but the message is not heard, etc. You must leave something important behind or be discovered. I feel so mean if I do this. I kind of like it though. So I'm gonna choose someone unimportant knows you. I mean, they're important to you to a certain degree, but in the scene, they're unimportant. So what happens here is you happen to bump into Gloria in the middle of your sneaking around.
Joy.
Oh, Miri, what are you doing here so early?
Oh,
And she's
I,
stopping you in the middle as you can see them leaving like further and further away from you.
I was here getting early, just scoping out the cafe to see if there's any things for my friends who are going to be stopping by a little bit, bringing some folks over to just take a look at some of the gardens, possibly get someone involved with some work here.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to speak to you about that. So, I spoke with one of the other head nurses about maybe doing some work in the garden, help promote the mood, really, to bring up the mood for the hospital and some of the patients, even maybe bring some fresh flowers in for the patients. And apparently, the head nurse had went to even talk to Dr. Walters, and Dr. Walters actually thought it was a great idea and wanted to talk to you sometime today if you had any time.
Sure. I have to go look into something real quick and meet up with them. Uh, oh, sorry if my typing's coming up. I'll have to work on that. But I'll need to check in about. I'll check in with you later about meeting time around that.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Just so you know, I think Dr. Walters already set an appointment up for you. So if whenever you check in today, that they'll let you know.
Okay. Thanks for that. And I think she's gonna try her best to. She's trying very hard to like. This is an important. You are an important person to me. I also need to just leave. Just leave quickly.
Right. All right, I like that. That was that. So you managed to just leave Gloria a little bit. She looks a little confused as to what is your rush. And as you're kind of like trying to pick back up some pace and pace a little faster to catch up, you do see that you do manage to get to a corner, and as you kind of peek around, you see that the men are have several crates in front of them. They're on dollies and everything, and they're just wheeling it in to a large imaging room. And the man who is overseeing them, it's kind of odd because you're thinking about the fact that there's a really well dressed Asian man in a suit, and then there's a bunch of men in whites transporting goods. It just seems a little out of place. But the man is just standing over the hallway, kind of observing everything that's going on, and occasionally doing a quick side check on the each end of the hallways. And I'm going to say that. So this is me now adding some more foreshadowing. Dr. Walters, you see Dr. Walters coming down the hallway, and let me just pull up Dr. Walters for everyone in here. And Kate, if you could post that in Discord for everyone who follows through. So if you want to see the images of some of our face claims that I've used for our game, please make sure to join our Discord because you will get to see all of those images there. I went kind of ham on making sure that all of the NPCs for our game had face claims, so enjoy them. So Dr. Walters is wearing a white lab coat, has a blue cardigan and a tie underneath, and you can hear the pace of their shoes hitting the linoleum floor. It's very precise. It is very intentional. Everything feels as if everything has a purpose. Everything has meaning, and even the stride is very methodical. And Dr. Walters also has very short hair. It's almost to the point of considered buzzed. And they walk up to the Asian gentleman. Well, Mr. Yen, have you acquired everything I've asked? Yes, I have. Here's the paperwork for that. Walters grabs the paperwork, looks over it for a few seconds. Excellent. You can go ahead and tell your boss that you have fulfilled your duties. Yen kind of grumbles a little bit. No offense, but Mr. Song told me to stay and oversee that your endeavors are complete. Walters looks up, like doesn't even move, just kind of moves their eyes, like just darts them straight at Yen. Very well. You can stay. But stop looking inconspicuous. You stand out too much. And just starts walking down the hallway.
Oh, great. This is going to be fun. I think at that point, she's probably like, okay, I've pushed my luck enough today. I should probably get back.
Sounds good. And for those in our game, I am changing the name of the character to Thomas Yan. This is Thomas Yang. All right. So with that, Miri, you make your way back to the cafe, and I want to say that's where eventually everyone else starts arriving. I'm assuming Tommy is already like two quiches in.
Yeah. Tommy's definitely got a cup of coffee and definitely some food with him as well.
I think surprisingly, Faith is not the last person there.
I'm shocked.
I know.
Like, I imagine like Tommy sitting there eating with his coffee, and Faith walks in, and Tommy like looks at her, and then like looks at his watch, and is like confused. Is it daylight savings time or something?
Yeah, something like that. And then she's like, is there any quiche left? Or did you eat it all?
No, there's plenty of quiche. There's plenty of quiche. Always plenty of quiche for you. Egg pie, as they call it.
I think she'll go get some. Egg pie. I mean, it is so good, though.
Just the way it is, the beat that that statement landed on was just like one off, and I. Oh. Carrying on.
I love you all. So, what's holding up Perdita this morning then?
I think if Miriam is already there too, I think like Perdita is like comes in just flustered, runs up to the counter and like, I want 2 quiches and a small cup. What do you mean you're out? No, it's because. Okay, I know it's like 2 minutes over the line, but are you serious? Look,
and then,
okay,
there's a guy with a mustache and a little chef hat comes over and just says, "Quiche time is over. No quiche for you."
No!
No, why? Why? Why was
If Perdita was running late, Faith would have picked up quiche for Perdita. She is that kind of friend.
I mean, I think
Understands.
that's the bit. Like, yeah. Look, all right, fine. Just give me the coffee.
Yeah.
She takes the coffee
Yeah, the
and
bit
then
is good.
Oh, thank God.
You're welcome, Internet.
Sit down.
God damn
I'm
it.
like, immediately starts tucking into something.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just like, I've had so many things going on today, and I need to get going. I need calories.
Yeah, here, eat these.
You need calories. You need calories. I like that, and I feel like for that, that's a good take on the fact that, I feel like I want to talk about that a little bit. So Perdita, you're always having to eat something, right? What and I guess your flustered morning, how does that affect your kind of size or your shape at this moment?
Yeah, I think like to shift, it's a lot easier when she has something to eat. Like she has to like invoke the story to do those things. And so I think when she gets stressed and when she feels like she's not as confident in what's going on, she grows smaller. Um, so I think she seems like a little like physically smaller by several inches. So she's like shorter. But I think she also like looks a little younger.
Ooh.
Like maybe a couple of years. Like Perdita, I think is in like her late 20s, early 30s, and so
Okay.
like now she looks like she's like 23. Like just like
Wow.
frazzled hair, like it's and it because like she's got so much going on. This is unusual, I think, for her too. Is like she normally grows or shrinks depending on like how confident she is, but like the aging or de-aging thing is like, oh, that's weird.
Okay, I do like that a lot actually. So I think for that, um, so I think for something I want to add to that, Prettia. So you physically look as if you're younger, right? But
Yeah.
every so often you catch your reflection on like glass and mirrors, and there, um, what does your reflection look like in there?
Well,
Does
it's
it
got to be the
look
opposite, right? Like she's got to look like she's 10 years older in the mirror. Like, oh my god, I look like shit. I've been up all night. I didn't think it was that bad. She like goes into her pocket and like pulls out like a compact and like starts trying to put on a little extra concealer and foundation. Like, look, this is gonna get everywhere. Oh my god, I'm such a mess. I'm sorry. What are we talking about?
You look great. Well, you look weird and different, but like not bad. Well, I think that's literally what it is. Is like,
the no the non compliment? Thanks.
Yeah. like, you look younger. It's right, Tommy. To, ask Tommy. He's better at talking to people.
I mean, kind of.
You don't look like you don't look like shit.
Look,
Yeah, you don't
Faith,
look
you're
awful.
trying to hit on me. This is a weird way to do it.
Ah, shit. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. That was
you know, that's
you got
my
me a quiche
that's
and
my
everything. I haven't had my coffee. I'm sorry. I'm just
That's
like,
my
let me-
go-to
let me put
pickup
something on my
line.
phone.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh shit! Oh fuck! Hey baby, you want to do it? Like, no.
Yeah.
Come on, Faith. Get your shit together.
Okay, I feel like Perdita, as you're eating through, like your outward appearance is starting to reflect back more like your present day appearance, and you're returning back to that shape. Go ahead and mark an attention for that because I felt that was that was a very good. I like that interaction, that moment. That was
Sure.
a lot of fun. And so while we're doing that, I'm going to invoke a hard move here. And I'm going to make things complicated. So, as you're all sitting there I'm going to say, Miriam, you get back to them, right? And I think this is a pretty good moment where you are all trying to collaborate on how to proceed into the hospital without arousing suspicion and getting caught by security. Miriam's fine, but everyone else is a little bit harder if you go into a more sensitive location. And I'm going to say for this, Faith, you notice from a distance, Nizumi is walking in through the front entrance.
Of the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Nozumi just went in.
Well, that's something.
Ah. Yeah. Something indeed. But why?
I think she's going to get the effects.
We could stop her. Find out what she's taking. You can see where she goes.
Does anyone want to follow up on that one? I'm like, Mary's just has a face of like, please don't make me be the one who have to go do it again. Like, it probably took like 5-10 minutes of her coming back to like actually start talking again. Like, regardless of anyone trying to talk to her, she's just like, nope, don't want to say, and then finally like starts like, I don't know, I feel like she gets taken aback by some of Perdita's altered appearance, and then she like fishes in the bottom of her bag, and she finds like a couple of like still intact like mazapans, which is a miracle because mazapans break under any sort of pressure. And
Yeah.
she like just passes them quietly over to her, and she just like holds up a hand with like 5 fingers to like try and roughly indicate when she'll have speaking back.
Here, you look worse than I do. Take one of these. Shoves a quiche over.
Scarfs it down. You see her like fumbling with her purse, and she's like trying to pull out a bottle of pills because she has that look of like she forgot something, and she's like trying to.
I think Faith will help. Like, we'll like reach over and just be like, I'll help you. It's okay.
So there's a thing. Copy paste what just happened into discussion.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so for everyone, reminder, so Miriam followed, allegedly now there's a face to the name. The Asian man is known is Thomas Yang.
But he's a person of interest.
And Shangsang Imports apparently just dropped off a large several crate loads of items being put away in an imaging room. I'm going to also tell you for the details of the hospital. So the hospital is a 7-story building. So the imaging center is on the 5th floor, and it has 5 major wings. So it's a pretty large hospital. It takes up like pretty much an entire city block.
I have a question, Jackie. I have a clue still from the police detective.
Sure.
I don't know what I can use it for.
So I feel like for this, if you're maybe you can try to see if you were the only target.
Okay, because it was for a case. So I was
For your
wondering.
case, right?
Yeah, because
Okay.
it was like in the downtime when I was exploring our mythos.
Oh, right. Okay, now I remember. Okay, I had to think about where you got it from.
Yeah.
Okay. From the ID. That's right. Okay, so you got it from the ID from that police detective, right? You can ask Perdita, since Perdita's here. Who does that police detective answer to?
Oh, okay.
You could do stuff like that. You could do stuff like about the police detective. You could even think about the fact that they are a police detective, so they have to have a public record for the city. So you can always look into that.
Okay, I was just curious. I just wanted to know. Okay.
Mhm.
That's good to know for future.
I feel like that wouldn't be something helpful immediately.
No, it wouldn't. I was wondering
It
about
was something you
flashbacks
can-
and stuff, but
Yeah,
okay.
like you can definitely use that for a flashback at some point. Does anybody else have any other questions for me? before we probably think about before I start asking about how you all going to enter the hospital.
I'm good.
Okay. So how are you all? How do you all think you're gonna? And so what do you think would be the best way to enter through the hospital? Do you feel like it would be something?
I have best idea.
Oh.
What if we could get a service animal vest for me?
Oh?
I'm just saying. I know I'm really big, but they're big dogs that are service animals.
I'm going to tell you right now, as a
they're
person
like 2
in
wolves
Florida where
wide.
people abuse that so much you don't even want to know. I have Great Danes that are service dogs.
Yeah.
In my town, there are 7
Great Danes are actually really good service dogs.
are.
Really are. They're really
Yeah, but
great
you're
service
way
dogs.
bigger than a Great Dane. You look like a great goddamn Dane. Like, you're fucking huge.
I just thought that maybe.
I'm not
I
trying
like-
to like shoot down your idea. I'm just saying, like, damn, I don't know if that reasonably is a thing that we could pull off.
I like to imagine that's how Tommy and Perdita are indicating the problem with the plan. Is just Perdita's just standing there, just holding out her arms. It's just Tommy's just saying like,
Katie,
no.
Yelling about wingspan almost accidentally hits one of the wait staff. Like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
So that's a bad idea. Sorry.
It's an idea.
There's no such
it was
thing as a bad idea, except for maybe that one. That might be the first.
Look, I can be relatively quick and quiet. I could try and sneak around the backside. I can stay hidden when I want to.
It also, honestly, it depends how much we want to give off the vibe that we're either like, how much do we want folks to interact with us? Because, like, the best excuse I can give us is that, like, and it's probably at this moment she like passes over the bag over to Tommy. He's like, I was gonna check in today if you're interested to see if folks might need more like help around keeping some of the gardens maintained. If you ever needed something while the situation's getting sorted out, but that's more than enough of an excuse to me. Like, I'm just showing, I'm bringing, like, folks love having other folks come by the garden. Like, not too many people really stop by outside of some of the staff, and they have some of the worst bedside manners I've ever interacted with because they don't actually talk to folks. So it might be nice for them just to see other people who are coming by. Just wanted to see like what folks are working on.
Yeah. Flowers are cool.
Yeah, you could just make it just be a case where that's the MO. Like, I'm just here and it's like, if something happens, it comes down on me, and it's I got a union. They're not really coming after me.
Well, yeah, you can skulk around all you want. The rest of us absolutely do not belong anywhere in there.
True.
I don't know. Are there any teens in there being treated that I might know?
Being treated?
Yeah. That I might
More
be
based.
visiting.
You could, I mean, Mira would probably have to, violate HIPAA to, pull up some hospital records. But yeah, sure, there should be, fine.
Okay, so she's not going to do that. That's probably a boundary she can't do.
Alternatively, I will say the hospital as a alternative suggestion. You could also be a teenage volunteer in the hospital, because hospitals usually do recruit teenage volunteers.
People to volunteer with teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm not a teenager. Just I wanted to specify that.
Yeah, that's fine. I know, but I'm just saying, like, you could also be like just a regular adult size volunteer.
That's true. Amy says that HIPAA didn't exist in the 80s, so it's all good.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's right.
I could just walk in and be like, "Hey, is so and so here?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, go see
Yeah,
him."
that's right. I forget that.
This is the part of the time context we're pulling from. vagrant, like flagrant patient violations.
Yep. So
Yeah, I
bad.
forgot. That's right. That's
The
why we
vagrant
got
patient.
HIPAA because of the 80s.
You know what? I can't talk today. Don't talk to me or my inability to speak whatsoever.
The vagrant patient is my favorite Dark Souls boss.
Yes. I'm now imagining that Dark Souls boss. It's terrifying.
Yeah, so
oh
am
my
I.
god.
It's really more Bloodborne, honestly.
Yeah, I was
I was gonna say that's
Yeah,
more
fair.
Bloodborne.
Fair.
Oh god, now I have the artwork in my head. God damn it.
All right.
Okay, so
Welcome, Hunter.
anyways, okay, so
I can
so far we
teleport
have-
through glass. That's how I can get in there.
yeah.
yeah. So that's serious. Do we all want to just stick
That's probably
together?
what Perdita's going to do, is just like skulk around and do PI things of like sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. So she's happy to do that, to divide and conquer.
Ooh.
But I don't know what the rest of you want to do. Yeah.
Where I could be. I kind of want to go track Nezumi. I want to follow Nezumi. I've got her scent, and I want to see what she's doing.
So proposal? Divide group. Perdita going off to check off whatever to see she can do, because she has the most mobility to get around everywhere, and she
Fair.
can draw the least amount of attention if she doesn't have to worry about us. Faith can also keep track of Nezumi, and I can just go with Tommy, because this could just be an excuse where we're both just checking out what's happening. Because he and I at least would have the best like excuse where I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to show my friend around, see if you could maybe get some work here. In the meantime, even if it's not work, even if it's just volunteer stuff, like she would just be like trying to fumble with words to say to Tommy. It's like, just want to give you something to, if you want
Okay.
something else.
I get it.
Sure.
I get it. I appreciate it. Yeah, you can show me around.
All right.
All right. That sounds good.
Can
So
she show you the world? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I will get on her magic carpet. No, oh, not like that. Yuri, I think you're a great person.
For some reason, like she starts blushing, and if there's any roses nearby, that even if they
Yeah.
weren't red, they start blooming that are also red. They're now also full bright red as well. Even if they were white roses, they start blushing as intensely.
Blinking
as she
red. Yeah. All right. I love you all so much. All right. So I see that I got everyone's plan of objectives for their kind of exploration through the hospital. So why don't we start with Perdita, since Perdita is very ready to go when it comes to using the looking glass and teleporting through. So I think for this one, so I will say, Perdita, what do you want to look into for the hospital?
So she's already been looking into Yang,
Right.
and she's curious to know like what's physically in the boxes. Like, what are they shipping? Right? If the manifest keeps saying, well, it's just medical supplies, it can't just be medical supplies in there. And like Yang has a ton of money. He's got something else going on. He's probably a rift. What's the deal? So I think she wants to try and figure out, like, get to like a loading dock or something, wherever the supplies were just dropped, and then start poking around in there.
Okay, just so context, the Miriam would have told you that the crates that were delivered at this point, they were put on the 5th floor of the hospital. The crates. So right now the truck is empty, but you do suspect that there should be at least somebody nearby to at least keep an eye on the truck.
Okay. So I think maybe she's more interested in getting to the 5th floor first,
Okay.
and then checking
So-
the truck later.
Okay. So why don't we do? Let me see here. So I do feel like there's a move here, and I feel like what it's gonna probably be is I'm gonna so it's kind of a looser term understanding of it, and I think what it's going to be is it's going to be a face danger move, as you're going to use, as I'm assuming you're going to use your looking glass to get into the hospital floor and skip everything in between.
I think I'm sneaking around.
Oh, you're sneaking around? Okay, let's
Yeah,
do a sneak
I'm
around
trying
then.
to use my abilities to act secretly or deceptively.
Okay, that
So,
works
like,
too.
Blink in and then like stay hidden around.
Sure. Okay. I will say for this one, go ahead and give yourself a story tag of, I'm going to give it a 1 tier. It's going to be hospital layout, because Miri would have at least given you a rough idea of what the layout of that floor looks like.
Okay.
Okay. I can be
So
generous and kind.
I can teleport through glass,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm dividing and conquering. But I don't actually think anything else applies at this point in time.
I think that's pretty good. I think for right now that's not a bad way to go,
Yeah.
and I think that's perfectly fine. I can wait on invoking your weakness tag.
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily invoke my own mobility weakness yet.
Yeah, I think we're okay for right now. Not invoking it.
And so I'll use
don't
the
see-
hospital layout as well for
Mhm.
the plus.
Yep, and that's a story tag, so you get a 1 on that one. Ooh, very nice. So you don't get dynamite on using sneak around, right?
I do not. Well, I only had 11.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. So it's still a success. Let me see here. So sneak around, you have an 11, so that is a 10 plus. You actually, there's no complications. You sneak in expertly into the hospital. I'm gonna say that when you arrive out of the mirror, do you want to say it's like a bathroom mirror on that floor?
Sure. Yeah, I think like the comic panel that's like kind of the flashback as she's using her ability is like she goes into like the bathroom in the cafe and is like concentrating and looking at herself in the mirror, who is like now reflecting who she actually is because she's kind of getting her confidence back. Miri is describing like what's up on that floor, like, well, if you go down here, there's this hallway, there's a bathroom around the corner from where they probably drop the supplies. It's like, and Perdita's kind of like asking like, oh, so what's in there? Like, what do you remember? What do you see? What do you smell? Like, the more sense that she has of like what that space is like, the better it is, the easier it is for her to like teleport through. So kind of we get that rough sketch, and she's like, okay, repeating, like there's 3 stalls, they put a picture of a kitten that says "hang in there" on the wall. Got the hand washing sign on the right side. The soap pump in the middle doesn't work, and then she like puts her hand through the glass and like rolls out the bathroom mirror in the hospital.
All right, and even with that little bit of tumble, nobody seems to. You kind of peek out through the door. It's quiet, and you get out and you start making your way towards the room. And before you go around the corner to that hallway, you can see that there is one person standing outside of the room. It's not Yang, it's somebody else. It just looks like it takes a little while to notice because they're also wearing a hat. They're wearing like full white uniforms, and it takes a moment, but you can clearly tell that that is that they're a little bit too scruffy to be movers.
All right. Priya's gonna try something
Okay.
that she ain't never tried before.
Oh.
Alice in Wonderland, the way her particular adaptation manifests is usually just growing in size or shrinking.
Mhm.
Still being small, that's very dangerous. What she wants to try to do is feel like she belongs there so much that she becomes invisible.
Ooh. Okay.
And just like she becomes just like a shimmering mist, so she can bypass these guys.
All right, I like that. I feel like that's still kind of continuing on with the sneaking around. So I think we're gonna keep that, and I feel like for that, what I want to do here is let's have. So you walk past them. There's only one. You see only one of them, and there is a door. And you notice that the door has a key card slider reader. So
So even if she can't get through, even if she can sneak past them, she still needs the card.
mm-hmm.
So I think while she's like trying to shift, this guy doesn't. Does it look like he works here? Or is he just like he's just like a mook in a suit, right?
I'm gonna give you that just by looking at it, you can tell it's a mook in a suit.
Okay, so it's not a security guard, so she can't get through that necessarily. I think she's gonna try and extend her power to like not just be an invisible mist, but to be like a vapor that can like Alex Mack underneath the door and come out the other side.
Awesome. I like that.
Love it.
I do like that. So you Alex Mack it through. I love using that as a verb. And you get through the bottom of the door, and at this point, as you kind of get through the door, there the room itself is not lit. There is a light switch though, and it is a very large room. So for an average imaging room in the 80s, it's about 20 feet by 15 feet on average. And you can see that there are about 4 crates inside, and the crates are about 8 to 10 feet long.
All right. So I think she like tries to reform herself, and like is reaching into her dress pocket, or like not, dresses don't have pockets.
Not in the 80s, no.
She's got her leather jacket on. She's reaching into the inside of her leather jacket,
Uh-huh.
pulling out some like disposable gloves and like snapping these on. Like, all right, well, let's see what's in here, and starts like going over to the crates and like trying to crack them open a little bit.
Okay. I feel like that's going to be a good investigate right here.
Yeah. So she is a private investigator.
Yep.
Who is perpetually curious.
Oh, very.
And I think that's it in this case.
Let me see. I want to see if there's something I can add to this. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good for right now. I think that'll be
Okay.
good for right now. And we got a 7 for investigate. Okay, so you did it a power of 2. So you get 2 clues. It is so it's on a 7 and 9. Let me see here. I believe the MC gets to choose. Oh, actually, you get to choose one. Let me see here. MC asks a question. Oh. So your investigation either exposes you to danger, the clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, or part true, part false, or whoever or whatever you are asking questions can ask you one question back as well. Well, it's items. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I'm going to say your investigation does expose you to danger. It kind of makes sense because you're kind of like opening these crates, so that's going to potentially create any sounds, even if you're careful. And plus, you don't even know if when somebody's going to come into the door either.
Right.
So that's also a danger in of itself. So for that danger, okay, I have one in mind for that. Okay. So for right now, you open the crates, and so you get 2 clues. So first off is, I'm going to give this to you right now. When you open the crates, you would think that it'd be medical equipment of some kind, like maybe large, because because either it's like either small medical equipment or maybe large pieces of medical equipment, right? This is a large room. Maybe it's supposed to be for something big in here. You open the crates, they're not medical equipment, not small medical equipment, not large medical equipment. They're not even equipment. You find inside different items of sizes and shapes. Some are made of stone, some are made from other semi-precious materials like jade, ivory. You see that some are also made in, or at least cast, or at least has like some kind of plating of like gold or silver. And you see that they are also like these anthropomorphic shapes. So they're sometimes humanoid, sometimes they're very animalistic in nature. And you realize that none of these relate to medicine at all. Well, I mean, the first obvious clue was there was nothing relating to medicine in here.
But they're statues made of weird.
They're statues,
weird
or even,
material.
and some are not even statues. Some of them are even like shapes, like triangles, and spheres, and half circles, and things like that. And you can see that there are different types of writing on all of them, and they're not the same type of writing. They're various. You can clearly tell they're all different kinds of writing on them.
What unifying trait do these have?
Okay, so for the unifying trait, so for that's your first clue there.
Yeah.
So the clue question for that is, what's the unifying trait?
Or theme, I
find one-
guess.
Yeah. So you go through the themes of. I'll give you it's the theme, and you do find a relic. The giveaway for the relic is when you pull up one relic, and you see that it looks like a man wearing what looks like popped, like some kind of cape, but with poppings on all of the sides of it, and a mask adorned over them, and you realize that. And you see that like there's a tag attached to it, and it clearly says our flayed lord. And you realize that all the other relics have some kind of like skull iconography or kind of anything of that nature, and you realize they all relate to some kind of deity or concept of death.
Okay. Did the crates have any paperwork on them?
Ooh, so all the items are tagged. So they do have. So there's no direct paperwork inside of the crates, but the tagging show that the items, what they are, and where they're originating from, and they're all from different places across the world.
Okay.
This makes me so mad.
Is that? Do you want to count that as a clue? 'Cause
I'm good.
I guess
I
my
don't
question
think
is,
so.
What is their origin that I can determine from?
Okay, so the origin you can determine is that they are coming from different countries, different places around the world, outside of this city. And here's one caveat I'll give you too that's not included. That's kind of the canon for our game. Is so the myth for those who are born as those who awaken as rifts. There is the mist that surrounds the city. It is, but when you awaken as a rift, you see the world a little bit more clearer, but it also still leaves you with more questions because there are things that lurk in the mist. And and in some fashion, the mist seems to be a thing that keeps you here as well as protects you. And so it's very difficult for a Rift to actually leave the city. Like really leave the city. And so acquiring these, but you know that there's a world outside of the mist, but you can't really ever leave the city in that kind of capacity. You can interact with it like through phone, email, which is rudimentary at this point, and letters and things like that. But so to acquire these kind of items, these are not easy to find items. These do not look like they are items that you can just happen to grab anywhere. And they look, and so some of them you can tell that one of them even mentions that it's coming from a dig site. One is coming from a curator. One is from, so they're coming from different origins. There's no singular origin from all these items. But they're definitely coming from multiple different cultures and multiple different mythologies and pantheons.
But unified around death. Okay.
Yeah.
General.
That's not that.
question,
Yeah. So, yeah. Mhm.
I guess is like, do people think about life outside of the city? Right? Is this like a Dark City situation where like everyone knows the way to Shell Beach, but nobody's ever been there, and nobody?
Yeah,
thinks
kind of
about
like that.
what's going on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you all know how to get to places and things like that, but for whatever reason, the mist keeps you confined.
Right, but like we nobody ever thinks like, oh well, I'd love to go to a vacation on Cancun or whatever. Like,
right, but you do remember that Chris Roth and his sister wanted to get out of the city.
Want to get out? Yeah. Okay.
So that is something that kind of. So I will say that even for you, that kind of feels weird now when you think back to it. You're like, wait, we never really leave the city.
Yeah.
How? So.
Okay. Then I think so. This whole sequence has been like a bunch of kind of like dark panels of Perdita like cracking it open, maybe with a nearby crowbar, because she's just like, a fuck it, I'm gonna get in here, and tries to be careful. Here's the crack, and like, all right, someone's gonna hear that. I gotta do this quick. Just roots in with the gloves on, like holding these up to the light, like what is going on here, sees the tags, and like clicks, like has the like flashbacks in her mind of like, well, here's the conversation with Roth, here's the like a conversation with other people, like, oh, we don't leave, we don't go places, and like the little thought bubble of like, what is going on here, and then I think we can go to somebody else, because I feel like I've had plenty of spotlight on that issue.
Sure, I think that's good, and I think that's a good place for us to take a short break, because I think we're gonna have some fun doing some investigation on Miri and Tommy and Faith in the next bit. So we're gonna take a short 5-minute break here, and we will be right back. Okay, everybody. So stay tuned. It's gonna be it's probably gonna be a lot of interesting interactions to come. Mostly everyone screaming.
We'll be right back.
Yay.
Hey everybody, we're back. Did you miss us? Are you curious to see what happens to the rest of our crew? Find out some awesome and terrifying things about the hospital, maybe? Question mark?
I don't know how I feel
All
about
right.
this.
All right, and if you're just tuning in, this is Royal Flush, a Wild Cards game. This is our City of Mist actual play, and we will be going, and we have a wonderful crew here who is going through right now, exploring a very curious hospital with a lot of odd connections. And it's very shady, and we're all concerned. Or at least Miriam's concerned. I don't know about everyone else. So I think a good place to go, we're going to move over to Faith. We're going to do your little corner of your investigation. So you're going to tail Nezumi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I am.
All right. I think I don't know if you have it or not. Do you have a story tag for Nezumi set?
I do have a
You do?
story.
Yeah.
Nezumi set ongoing hidden 3.
Yeah. Okay. So you definitely do. So if you want to, so I will say, how do you want to approach tailing Nezumi?
I want to let's see, what do I want to do? I want to
Do you get like a visitor's pass from like the reception desk?
I think I would. I think I would, cuz
Okay.
I don't want to like stick out. She wants to
Okay.
look like she's, supposed to be here, but she's also just going to follow the scent and where it
Okay.
leads her.
I like that.
Walking
that a lot.
semi nonchalantly and trying to appear, she's large, but she tries to appear like she does her shtick of.
So that also sounds like a sneak around.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and go for a sneak around. What tags are you going to employ here?
I'm going to employ one with the wolf.
Okay, I like that. Get a little bit of that Wolver
Yeah.
scent tracking.
And divide and conquer, because that's what we're doing. Makes sense.
Okay, I like that.
I don't know if I can use Nezumi scent for this, though. Can I? Because I'm not
Yeah,
looking.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
But
So
you're kind of tailing still. You're kind of
Yeah.
still. I will say for this, you are using it because you're trying to navigate through, and while you're using Nezumi as the anchor to kind of help you bob and weave through where you can go.
And then I'm going to mark
I'll-
my possible giving into the animal because I'm using more of my senses as a weakness.
Yep.
Just in case.
I'm gonna do that, and as much as I think in this one here, I think that's a good place here. Let's do that. And where is your power out of?
I
four
mean,
right now?
I
Let's
could
do that.
also, I would say I could also tag the overconfident tag for the,
Yeah, I
crew
like
tag.
that. Let's do the
I think
overtime.
that-
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
makes
so-
sense.
yeah. So don't forget to mark attention for that.
Okay. That makes sense too. Okay, and I'm sneaking around.
Yes, and don't forget to mark attention for a hair of the Scotty because you're.
I
using
didn't.
the- Okay.
I got a 9.
I was
like, I gotta
it's a
hit
nine.
I can't read. I was like on the wrong one. All right.
All right. So on a 7 and 9, that's you do get a hit. So you're. I'm gonna say that for the most part, you're sneaking around the hospital. It's the 80s, and it's not like security was that top notch. So for the most part, most people don't pay you any mind. So far, you haven't gone anywhere that's where you shouldn't be. And for I'll say for this one here, what it's gonna be is, so I get to choose. I think for this one, I've already made you leave something behind, but I feel really mean. What else have you been leaving behind, Faith? What did you leave behind at the reception desk?
Her name. She'll find her name.
Okay.
Because she got a visitor badge. So she had to give her
Mhm.
name. I
All
think
right.
that's pretty important.
I think so too.
She didn't think it was a big deal to give like the reception desk her name because they're just like
You
the
actually gave a
reception
real name as opposed to like a fake
Yeah,
name to
yeah,
visit. Okay. All right.
desk. Yeah. I know she's the worst at this.
That is not going to
stuff.
hurt. That is not totally going to lead to some other consequence down the road at all.
God, she's the worst at this.
Okay, excellent. I love it. So, I'm gonna say for this, so you get through the hospital, and it gets to a point where you know you're reaching so you're going through, and you realize that Nezumi is not staying in the, is actually heading upstairs. The scent is moving upstairs. And so you move in and you take the elevator up to the 5th floor. the doors of the elevator open. You hear the elevator sound go. You don't see anybody here, but you know she's here. And you do detect the scent of at least 1 or 2 other people on this floor.
I'm just gonna follow my nose.
Okay. I'm gonna say you eventually do get to a hall. You get to the end of a hallway. You kind of like peek through a little bit. You see you see a person wearing all white. And you see a little rat just scurrying very quietly, very slowly, right up to the guard. And the rat kind of just like moves a little bit, kind of squeezes through the door, and that's all you see.
What does the guard look like?
The guard's wearing all white, has a hat, looks very rugged, and kind of definitely not like somebody who should be working in a hospital.
Oh. Oh, shit.
So, Perdita, about that danger that was eventually going to escalate.
Well, well.
Well, wow.
So, what do you want to do, Faith?
I want to look for a closet.
You find a closet. It's a broom closet.
No, see, I was gonna look for a closet that maybe had some like outfits or uniforms or.
So the only thing you would so if anything you would have, it would be like a janitor's closet that might have a spare uniform.
Okay. There's a janitor's closet though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you gonna dress up as a janitor?
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds excellent. Are you just gonna start mopping the floor in front of that guard?
Yep, I am.
Figured as much. Okay. So we're gonna just do a quick cutscene. We're gonna do a quick cutscene over to Perdita for a brief second here, and then we're gonna just change scenes again. So what happens is as a rat kind of squeezes through, and Perdita, you know that you don't want to stay too long because you don't know how long it's gonna be before someone comes in here. It could be any time. And as soon as you're like kind of closing the crate down, do you want to take anything with you, or do you just feel like you're just gonna leave them everything as is?
I mean, if I wanted to be a boring person who didn't get into trouble, then I would absolutely leave everything as it is. But because I'm a character in a role-playing game, I'm absolutely going to take the statue that has our Lord of Flayed Skin on it.
Yep.
Like,
Sounds
trying
great.
to shove it into her jacket.
It's just like, come on.
Price this cultural artifact. Get the fuck in there already.
I mean, maybe you'll be able to make use of it. I don't know.
So in that instance, you hear Nazumi's voice behind you, Perdita. What are you doing here?
Is that a familiar voice?
Yeah, you've heard of Nazumi's voice.
That's Nizumi, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, just poking around.
Well,
Could ask you the same question.
I just wanted to confirm what was here.
Are you satisfied?
No. But at least now I know for sure who is Ace now.
Do you want to compare notes over coffee and not here?
I think that would be grand. And I think the hard move here is things are getting complicated. Faith, you're mopping, right?
Mhm.
You're kind of like doing the stereotypical, whistling as you work.
I think she's got like a
Walkman
on her hip.
a
And she's
yellow
got-
Walkman.
Yeah, and the headphones on, and she's just like acting like nothing,
Mhm.
and she's just cleaning the hallway. No big deal.
Yep. And you see a person in a white lab coat with a blue cardigan and a tie underneath, and kind of buzz shaved hair. Very thin looking person coming by. And for the players, it's Dr. Walters, but for everyone else, for Faith, you have no idea who this person is.
But are they going into the room though? Are they going as though going into the room?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna knock over the mop bucket and spill it on their feet. Like accidentally.
Okay.
Like make a commotion.
You're gonna make a commotion.
Yeah, just because because I know someone who's in there. I know someone's in there, right?
All right, I think that's a change the game. So why don't we have you roll for that?
You're causing a mess in front of Edna Mode. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, right. Crap. What's change the game again? I've not.
So change the game is you're going to try to give your allies some kind of advantage here.
Oh, right.
Because they don't know that Walters is coming. So you're trying to give them at least the opportunity to at least hear that they're coming.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe give them the chance to get out.
I think I'll use Relentless. I think that makes sense to me.
Okay.
I think my heart is my power is a good one too. But
Okay.
I also think insecurity is a good one to tag as a not great thing.
I like the insecurity because this is not something you're probably normally do. You normally do, and you don't know how this is going to react to somebody.
No.
Okay, I like that.
So I got 1 power to roll this, y'all. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, this should go great. I can't wait to see what happens.
Oh, I got an
here.
8.
Ooh, you did get an 8. Nicely done. So on an 8 or on a 7 or 9, you do get it. What happens here is you hit, so you get juice equal to the power. So you get 1 power so you get 1 juice for this. So you can either create a story tag, burn a power tag or a story tag, or give or reduce a status. So I would think in this case you probably want to create a story tag.
Yeah, I want to create a story tag of.
You want to do like
Is-
wet floor.
Yeah, wet floor or commotion or something. Yeah, along those lines.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, we'll do wet floor. Go ahead and mark that in your sheet for right now. It's just a story tag.
Okay.
And so the water spills over. They look over and they just go, "Can you please watch what you are doing?"
Oh, so sorry. So sorry. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Who are you exactly?
Oh, I'm new. I'm Genevieve.
I don't recall an opening.
Oh. Shrug.
Exactly who are you?
It's just a shrug, like.
They kind of like just great, like kind of walk around the puddle that you just created. Looks over at you for a brief minute. You're gonna try to lie, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
give me a convince.
Okay.
Give me a convince.
Ah, great. Okay.
I'm gonna give you so there is a status tag. The status tag is that against you is suspicious. It's going to be suspicious 2 because there's a reason. There's a little bit of a reason for that, but
I'm sure there is. Okay. Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
If Faith had pertinent information about how Walters is as a person, would that possibly reduce the status in any way if you were able to build a lie off of knowing more information about Walters?
I think you could do that if you want to use your help points for that.
Yeah, I have a health point for that, and also I wanted to try and invoke something right now because I can.
Okay.
I wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
about Walters, because the other improvement that I picked up was
Mhm.
about my hospice worker giver, which lets me get a free clue in an area related to my domain of my routine. So I
Okay.
wanted to ask: are there particular areas where Walters has a dead zone about how the hospital operates?
Yes. So there's a place.
Because I feel like that's something that not only Perdita would get a benefit
Mhm.
from, but also Faith, in case Faith
Mhm.
like gets asked about something.
So you're asking like a place where nobody's technically allowed except very exclusive staff, basically.
Or just more about Walters, like how they act as a person. Like, are there
Oh,
areas where because like right now the reason
Mhm.
I'm bringing it up now is because Faith is like trying to lie about something
Okay.
where like it's obvious, like Walters is trying to act like, well, I didn't know about an opening. I'm like, is Walters the kind of person, given my history with interacting with him, where that
Mhm.
even is the case? Like, is there something about like, are there areas about how they operate in the hospital where that makes
Yeah. I
everything
think.
up?
Okay. Yeah. I think so. I will say for the clue, yes. So Walters, while Walters is pretty, I will say, Miri, you know that Walters is a very kind of um hands-on, wants to know everything that runs in the hospital sort of deal, but also is that person where there are always going to be elements that get passed through Walter's purview because those are just things that Walters doesn't purview all the time, like like the very minor things, like the administrative, some of the administrative things. So I feel like for this, it could have been a sudden firing and replacement. That would make the most sense, or a sudden, like or maybe that um something very sudden, like a family emergency or something, and they need to call in and they didn't have anyone else, so they had to call in a reserve from elsewhere. So maybe it could, so I will say for this, it could be because in some hospitals, even in nowadays, some of the cleaning staff is actually from
Temp.
another cleaning company,
Or just
a
temp.
temp or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Right. It was a bit of a long interjection, but I was
Yeah.
wondering about that. So that's my
That's
first
a
clue
good
from
one.
that. Yeah.
think-
So
yeah,
Faith
then-
has that. Faith would know that info.
So that I
Because
think
that
Faith
would've
would have
happened.
said, "Oh, someone was found doing things on the job. I don't know, but I just called in I'm temp. I'm just here
Okay.
filling in."
So so for that, the status for suspicious is reduced to a 1
Okay.
instead of a 2.
That's
So-
helpful.
That's all I can do to help.
I think so I'll add that. I think that I can invoke Protector of the Weak because I'm doing this to protect someone else.
Right.
And I'm thinking I can invoke Relentless.
Yeah, I can see that here.
I don't think I
Um,
have anything else I can invoke unless well I could probably, I don't know, a weakness, maybe insecurity, but I don't even know if I'm focused on that right now.
No, I don't think it kind of fits here.
Yeah.
But I want to say I want to invoke your giving into the animal
Oh, okay.
because it's afraid.
Oh,
Your
okay.
animal, the part of you that's the Wover, is getting defensive, getting protect. It's
Mhm.
trying to protect itself, and so while you are sounding, there's like that little bit of where that insecurity is also very highly defensive,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's kind of coming out.
That's it. That's an 8.
Hey, you got an 8. Cool. So it's a hit still. On an 8, on a 7 and 9. Let's see here. Your target can choose to either take the status, status, or give in a little and protect their own agenda. So what kind of, so if you were to give a status to Walters, what would it be? And it would be equal to actually,
0. I have no power.
so automatically in the rules it becomes a 1.
Oh, a 1. Okay. I think it would be something like disinterested.
Okay, sounds good. I think that will fit here. So they will take a disinterested status here. Very well. Just please do a better job.
Yes. Sorry.
and and they will wait until you mop up the puddle that's in front of the door. And I'll say at that point, like, you're pounding the mop head against the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so Perdita, you and Nezumi inside hear the pounding of the mop door, and you hear a little bit of the kind of, it's very it's a little bit muffled but the commotion outside.
We should go.
If you have a way out.
You trust me?
I don't think I have a choice in the matter anymore.
Good answer. And she draws open a rabbit hole inside, like in the gap between some of the stuff that's like lying around here.
Okay. I like that. Do you feel like it's taking a risk right now?
I mean, we assume that someone's going to barrel down the door any second now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's like, we're just going to jump out. She doesn't care where we go as long as it's outside of the hospital.
Right. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and use take the risk here as a move. And I think that'll work great here.
All right, so I'm making a rabbit hole to transport somebody else. And I think I'm being authoritative of like, you're coming with me.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a very good one. And I'm gonna go. I say let's try and use know the city like the back of your hand, because you do know this
where I'm gonna come out.
Yeah. Of course, I feel like in this instance though, because it's very sudden, I feel like the weakness tag of things become topsy-turvy is a good one here.
Legit.
Okay.
In either where we go out or where we leave from.
Yep. I like that.
Okay, so I'm going to mark an attention on my mobility theme and take a risk. Roll 20.
Does row 20 want to work?
You doing all right there, bud?
I'm going to refresh roll 20 real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't worry, it just needs mozzarella sticks.
It sometimes
It's gotta
does. It sometimes does.
Have a Snickers, roll 20.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
That's a miss.
Oh, what did you? Oh, you missed on that. Oh man.
oh boy.
I refreshed roll 20.
Two.
Okay, hold on. So it was take the risk and it was a miss. Oh boy. Okay. Well, so that means I get to make a hard move. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see here. What could possibly be terrible here in this situation? Oh. Okay. So here's where things get interesting. So as you're teleporting Perdita, you're creating a rabbit hole, right? Is it on the ground, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Okay. So it warps the linoleum floor, and as a result, you create it so quickly that the rabbit hole expands even larger than before, and both you and Nezumi immediately fall down, like kind of like gravity fall into it, and the relics go in with you.
Oh, the whole thing.
But as you're kind of spiraling downward, you're noticing that the crates are being flung into the ether.
Well,
And this time around, unlike the clock gears of like the last time, you feel like you're inside of a thunderstorm. It's raging, lightning sprawling everywhere, winds are howling, and you feel like it's like in a kind of like a funnel cyclone kind of feel, as the wind seems to be surrounding both you and Nezumi as you're descending lower. And you notice that the aperture on the other side it seems to be a very bright light coming out of it, and as you descend downward and reach the light, where do you want to appear? Where do you think you would want to appear?
Um, parking lot by some dumpsters, probably.
Great.
Away from prying eyes.
All right, so this is going to be the fun one now. You appear, and as you appear in the parking lot floor kind of bends and warps downward, and you both get flung up and out of it. And you realize that, Perdita, you're located right now in the industrial district, and that is an area further away from where you, way further than you expected. It's kind of overlooking the city pier, and on one side, and on the other side is the port, the docks. And you see that around you, a lot of apartment houses and things like that. You see apartment houses in here. You see factories in here. But unfortunately, in this part of the industrial district, this corner of it is actually a very old part of the industrial district, and it's actually very abandoned, and pretty much has been left to kind of rot away to time.
Well, we're out.
How did we get here?
You know, I find that it's usually better that we don't ask necessarily how, but we more focus on where we are and what we're going to do next. It's just a little trick. It's just a little something that I have kind of rolled up my sleeve.
No, you don't understand. Why did you choose here?
It's not really choose. I just went through a door, and we came out on the other side. Now, if you wanted to go out the front door and get your face punched in by the Palooka keeping guard, you're welcome to. But for now, I suggest that we either look around for a cab and some intersecting street signs and try and find our way back.
Well, actually, since we're here, I never thought I'd be back here, but maybe there's something here if you want to tag along.
Oh, you've got unfinished business out in this part of the town?
Not unfinished, yes, but it does relate to our case.
Perdita gestures. Lead on.
Zumi leads, and we'll cut scene out there. Faith, you are cleaning and mopping, and there's a crash you hear on the other side, and then Walters just goes, "What was that?" and kind of like brushes you to the side, swipes the card, opens the door. You see there's nothing in there. Except like it's an empty room. It's a big, large, empty room. Walters literally just has like a face of shock. Looks over at the guard that's there. Where is it? Where are they? And the guard kind of leans in and kind of shrugs. Don't be that ignorant. You were standing here the entire time. And then Walters starts berating the guard. And I think, Faith, that's a good place for you to kind of just like,
Nope out.
Job and walk
Yep.
away.
Nope.
And Miri and so now we're gonna move to Miri and Tommy. So for the both of you, I'm going to say, where exactly are you planning? Where's your first place you want to enter through the hospital?
I mean,
I'm kind of following your lead here.
Yeah, I kind of imagine it's like it's not like gated per se, but it's like a separate.
It's like the employee entrance.
Yeah, kinda. It's also like it's an area that's within the like boundaries of the like hospital itself that is like at least within like window view of like some of the patient rooms. So like folks have like that's part of the reason like the upkeep on it is important, is because it's like one of the few things for folks who are often going to at the hospice end of it, going to be looking like not able to at times go very far or anywhere. Like they want like a good site to wake up to in the morning. So I kind of imagine she's just like talks to a few nurse friends along the way and then just sort of like leads Tommy over to anyone else who might be like either also in charge alongside with her or also like has worked there. Maybe even like some other
Head
like folks
nurses.
who some of the head nurses. Just checks in, just introduces them to Tommy and just be like,
Right.
It's a good friend of mine, hell of a worker. I don't think the man's ever known a day where he hasn't worked as hard as he can.
Okay. I think that's a good change to game here because I think you're trying to build rapport for Tommy and making sure that Tommy feels like Tommy should be here.
Also, like we should be here right now in this way.
Right. Yes. But I think it would help because that way I think it would help Tommy draw less suspicion on himself.
Yeah. Okay, so divide and conquer probably works here since we're split off from the rest of the group.
What? No. One of your friends cannot possibly be on a different part of town altogether.
You know what? Decisions are made. I'm going to go against my general impulse as a player and lean into my character, which is this is a bad idea. Let's go for it.
Yes.
Hospice care probably because she knows a lot of different folks. She has rapport already. Getting past bureaucratic red tape, I could see. She also knows like even if quote unquote visitors aren't allowed, the hospital's pretty swamped. She probably figures we're going to be needing more hands on deck anyways. And Tommy was open to work. Unyielding compassion for others probably also works here because she's doing this for Tommy and just her friends in general. And I'd say probably overconfident also works here because this is the one area where like probably Tommy is seeing it works for a group weakness, but also like it works for her as a weakness here because I think this is the one time Tommy's probably ever seen Miri be entirely different as a person. Like this is the one area where she's like, "Hey Sam, is everything going all right? Okay, have we checked in on those three today? Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll be sure. I'll take care of the letters. I'll take care of stuff. Like checking in. Do we have the meeting scheduled for like the next week? Like it's like so like she's set in her ways for how she goes about it in like a really good way. It's the exact opposite attitude and personality she shows around the group.
I think for this, I'm gonna do an MC move here. It's gonna be creating I think I'm gonna create a status tag here.
Okay.
Not for Miri, but for Tommy.
Uh-oh.
It's nostalgia. You feel nostalgic because you know what it's like to be in an environment that you are very comfortable and familiar with, as if it's part of you. The fact that Miri is in the workplace, doing the things, being right because you have that part about being committed to the job, and that's that element of you feeling nostalgic about working at the docks. So I'm going to put it. The status is going to be nostalgia for the docks.
Okay.
And it's going to be at a 1. Okay.
All right. So I think that's the 4 power tags and the 1 overconfident one for change the game. So
okay.
Let's give that a go. That is a 12.
Well, hot diggity. So yeah, it's a definite hit. So you get 3 power, so you get 3 juice to spend to either create a story tag, burn a power tag, or a story tag. Give or reduce a status. So you and on a 10 plus, you also can scale up the effect, which means it will be for a larger group or a larger area. You could prolong it, which means it goes beyond the scene, or you can do something along the lines of hiding the effect as well. Or if there's any other kind of improvement you want to think about, we can work out something.
Okay. I'm kind of thinking some sort of status works here on Tommy's behalf.
Okay.
My impulse is to call it I know a gal instead of I know a guy, I know a gal.
Okay, I like that. Go. Do you want to spend all the? Do you want to make it like for the entire hospital or just?
I'm gonna
like...
make it for the hospital. So instead of like making it like as high a status as I could with the available power, just make it like middle status tier, and also like pretty much anyone around the hospital isn't gonna give Tommy shit while I'm around.
Okay, so that sounds great. So Tommy, go ahead and give yourself a story tag at a power of, I'm guessing 2. It's gonna be 2, and just say I know a gal, and I would say put in parentheses the hospital, just because that way you remember it affects everybody in the hospital.
Okay.
I think that'll be good. That's gonna be great. I like that. All right, so. So Miri and Tommy, there are some exchanges of like introductions. There are some there's a lot of meet and greet here. Eventually I'm gonna say, do you both make it to the garden?
Yeah, that'd probably be the first place. And just the whole time she's probably just like pointing out different spots, different like rows where things have been cultivated, and she'll probably one of the last ones she'll save. Because she's proud about it, is like this patch of like marigolds.
I think Tommy wants to try and like build his rapport as a nice person or a nice dude in the hospital, and to do this, he's going to use his power to manipulate objects, and he is going to manipulate somebody's like ID card off of like the little dangly holder, like onto the floor, and then be like, "Oh, you dropped this," and like pick it up and like return it to the person.
Okay. So I feel like that sounds great. I like that.
I love it so much.
So I feel like that's also changed the game for you too, Tommy, if you want to do that.
Okay.
Give yourself a high, because you can't spend the juice to even up that rapport, that story tag that Miri gave you.
Okay.
I think that would be a great one. And it's gonna be fun.
Every time you say that, Jackie, I worry just a little bit.
Okay. So I'm using smooth as glass, charismatically move objects, and selectively hit specific targets. In addition to the aforementioned story tag.
All right. That sounds good.
Great success.
I don't think you hit it. I think that was a. Just kidding.
Wow, with a power of 5. Holy cow. You can do a whole heaping a lot. I think okay, so Smurf, if you want, you can increase the power tag to like a stupid amount. You can even make it bigger, if you really wanted to. I'm going to say if you want to, you can make this effect last beyond this scene, beyond the next scene, and probably even longer than that. So,
okay, yeah, I think increasing the story tag even further makes sense.
Okay, you have a lot of points to spend, so you can choose how high you really want to go. You can make it to the point where almost everybody is already liking you, and you're already Mr. Popular at the workplace.
I think that makes sense for the character. So
okay,
that's the route to go.
And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna prolong the effect. So we're gonna make it. So right now it's at a 2 right now, right?
It's at a 2, and I have 5 points. And do I understand that each of these little bars is 1 point spent?
Almost. So I think for the prolonged effect, I'm gonna say for 2 juice points, it's gonna be for beyond the scene and pretty much permanent.
Okay.
I know it's usually a 12 plus dynamite to make it permanent, but I feel like this just feels more natural here. You just have a lasting impression. So you can spend 2 juice here. I'm gonna go a little bit and bend it here where it's like 2 juice to get that as a permanent.
Okay.
Because I feel like that just makes more sense for the character. It's such a lasting impression. And you can spend the rest on just making that stupidly high.
Yeah, as far as like how high I can make it on the story tag, what should I set it to?
It will be a 5 because you have 3 remaining.
Okay.
You are so popular now.
You're so likable.
God
Jeez.
And like I imagine that like Miri sees him do this and is like, oh shit, like he's way better than with people than like he lets on sometimes. And especially in like a workplace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Tommy actually starts bonding with some of like the staff, even though they're in a nice meaningful way, and and even like interacting with like one or two patients or something. It's just like it just seems like this natural charisma that just oozes out.
Yeah, I kind of imagine like one of the I have a thought for how like the high impact why it's so high impact is that I think like maybe Tommy like there's someone there is someone from who's being taken care of in the hospice section who like hasn't like talked with folks in like ages. Like folks have been they've been worrying about how well he's been doing for like months, and they think like it's near the end, and like Tommy just kind of appears and maybe like says something or talks to him, and you just get like one or two of like the nurses who've been with him for the whole time just like being like, oh thank god, we've been working with this guy for like months and he hasn't opened up to anybody.
I agree, the Mets suck.
It's like the one thing, like no one's talked to him about baseball at all. Actually, that's perfect. No one's talked about him.
Yep.
That's so funny.
amazing.
I like that. I like that a lot. That was really wholesome, and I loved it. I'm gonna stay for here because we are getting close to time. So what's gonna be the fun? So here's my hard move here.
Of course.
Because I am a cruel, evil human being. I'm gonna say for here, what happens is, I think this is gonna be a fun one. So in the room, as you're leaving out of that room, out of that nice patient's room, and you're heading down to another part of another department, you bump into Miri, Thomas Yang. And Thomas is there. He's not wearing his business suit anymore. He's wearing what looks like a set of moving uniforms. So it's kind of like the same one that they were all wearing before, like the very white single uniform. Is wearing very thick boots, and the only one who's not wearing a hat. There's about 3 others that are coming in. They're with them, and they kind of, there's a brief, I want to say, I think for this one, I think what it's going to be is they walk by, and I'm going to, I think for here, I kind of want to invoke something from Miri. Because of the fact that they're there, I kind of want to lean hard onto prone to anxiety here.
Okay.
So you can mark an attention on that. So, given that Miri is very anxious, and I'm going to assume that it's very visible.
It's probably like instant, and like something that like Tommy would probably really be able to tell. Like it's her going back to how she is normally around them, like just in an instant.
Okay, so Tommy, you notice this right away, and you notice that the mood changed really right away when this guy came into the room, and he has like a very tough guy attitude on him.
What's like the initial vibe that I get from him? Like,
I think the read you get from him is going to be along the lines of, like, whoever this person is, he looks as if he's very he's very stocky built, but you can tell that this person is not. He doesn't look like a person who works in a hospital. He looks like somebody who who either does a lot of heavy work, or somebody who goes into who can easily take care of themselves in a fight. Like all the mass behind the uniform, you can tell it's not like fat or anything. It is like a built person. Like this is a person who's like sturdy. Like he's probably not ripped, but he's sturdy, just like you are. Someone who works, someone who uses their fists, their hands.
I kind of lean over into Miri. Do you know him?
He was who I was following earlier. He's involved with like someone pretty high up here at the hospital, and they're bringing stuff here. They're either bringing way too much stuff or something's off about this, and I don't.
Oh, Miri, by the way, the other thing I wanted to add to the complication is that, or rather, yeah, the complication. It's not Yang that's the complication. It's the fact that they're wheeling in a body. It's in a body bag, and the tag is sticking out, and you notice it right away. It says Abigail Williams on it.
Cool, normal, cool.
Great. Tommy, they shouldn't be wheeling in someone. Like, no. I don't think her body should have been taken. He shouldn't have been involved with taking it anyways. That's not standard procedure here.
I'm gonna approach this dude.
I love you, Tommy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Thomas and a Tommy. Only one can exist.
Yeah.
There can only be one. All right. He's leading behind. He's leading the other people who are like pulling the stretcher across on wheels.
Hey, what's going on here?
This is none of your business.
Why is it none of my business? I don't know you.
And I don't know you.
So how do you know it's not none of my business?
I only answer to one person here.
And who's that?
It's none of your business.
Listen, I'm just a concerned citizen. This right here is not normal.
Ooh. He leans into you. You know what else is not normal? Me punching your face in if you don't get out of my way.
Oh no, that's completely normal. I have taken some fists to the face. I'm pretty fucking good at it.
I will say for the scene, because we're getting close to time, Tommy, you can hear the audible like fist tightening, like the knuckle cracking kind of bit. And I'm going to say this is a good place to leave a little cliffhanger, as Faith is slowly wheeling in with the mop pail,
The mop bucket.
Mop and bucket just coming in. Has that Walkman still on, acting completely casual the entire time. And we'll cut to that scene, and we'll put a big flat "to be continued."
I imagine that like when Faith is coming in, she's like listening to like some punk song.
It's really yes, we'll go
Yep.
with that.
Sure.
See, I was imagining the drum solo from Tom Sawyer, like, but she's
Yeah.
also he's
Yeah.
casual. He's
Yeah.
doing the air drums, and right as one of the crashes hits, she like looks up, and this is what she sees.
And she's like, oh.
I think that's a good place to stop for today.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty much at time. So
Yeah.
and that's a good place to stop. So thank you everybody who's in chat who's been able to keep watching with us live as we've been as our crew get through this. I think next week is gonna be not next week. I'm sorry. The next time we come back, we will be in a very heated moment. So I think that's gonna be fun. So let's do our very quick geek out at the credits cinematic move that we all get to participate as a group. So this is the part at the end of the game where we do a quick round of questions where we get to improve our crew. We might potentially improve our crew theme, and we get to probably see if we maybe we can distribute some help and hurt points here. So let's do so the 3 questions are: how has the crew grown this session? How do we all feel about that, everybody? Everyone can chime in on that.
I think we're getting really good at dividing and conquering.
That's
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Jeez, Louise.
I think we are so efficient at coming together for like 15 minutes and then breaking the fuck up and doing whatever the fuck we want.
But I also think
It's almost
along
like we play
those.
we're playing tabletop games or something.
I do think though that along those lines, our relationships are getting better and stronger, and we're trusting each other better. So
Mhm.
I don't know if that's growing the crew yet, but I do think we're getting to that point.
I'd agree.
How do you
with that. I think our individual relationships at least are improving. I don't know whether we treat that equivalent to the crew growing or not, but I don't know. I feel like it's getting
Okay.
easier to like.
I have
Not
us
just-
with me using the overconfident tag. I have us growing the crew theme 1 anyway. So I have us
Right.
having enough attention to grow the crew theme anyway. So.
So you get the improvement.
hmm
So how do you feel, Simon?
I think that everyone's pretty much spot on the money there. Like we're
Yeah.
able to kind of give each other the information we need, and then see what happens, and then reconvene.
Okay. And I think also like the fact that I think we're gonna get to a point where, because especially since I teased it, Izumi now confirming who is Ace for the Royal Flush. I think that kind of, when you get to that point, that might be a very good place for the crew as a theme to grow, because your theme is to who is the Royal Flush, who are the Royal Flush. So I think you're getting there. I think, but individually, the relationships are definitely growing, and I love those interactions. By the way, which character had the most meaningful interaction with your character this session? You get to add help points or hurt points if they interfered with you. Most of our players and our crew doesn't really interfere with each other too much so far, so it's going to most likely be help here. So how does everyone feel about who had the most meaningful interaction with who?
It was definitely with Miri. Like
Definitely with
straight up.
Tommy.
Yeah. Getting to see Miri like in her work element where she's almost a different person. Where Tommy probably saw some of himself in her work ethic and desire, and like that definitely goes a long way to their friendship.
And yeah, and I think she's also getting more of a sense of like, she's used to like the gregarious kind of like, I'm just this kind of guy. Like, I'm just an everyday guy, but like she's really seeing what that means like in a group of people. Like, yeah, I'm an everyday guy who like everyone kind of trusts because he's genuinely just a good guy who doesn't fuck around with being a decent person. Like,
Yeah, I think so. I think you both can get help points for each other there. I don't think, like, Faith, did you had any meaningful interactions, you think, this session?
I don't know. I'm thinking.
I think this is like more like a Faith trying to find their place, kind of. Like, this session felt like Faith was trying to find their own way and find it being their own way.
Yeah, I
being
think
useful.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. And how about Perdita, Simon? I think
I also
Perdita,
think Perdita like had a lot of solo stuff. Like she had some interesting, like individual character moments, but she didn't have that same kind of one-on-one.
yeah, I agree. But maybe we'll see what comes out of that, next week, or not next week, the next time we come back. We'll talk about why we're not here next week. And this one I feel like we've gotten to a place where a lot of us have written the same themes, before. So I feel like if it's a different theme this time, which of your themes is under the most strain, and if it collapses, what new aspect will show up in its place? So I feel like here, I know some of you have used the same themes before. So do we feel like any new themes might be under strain? No.
No.
Okay. So I think we're
Uh,
good on that.
No.
But what about Miri?
I actually think it's the one under strain this time is different. I
Ooh.
actually think Seed Sentry, the one where like she summons like the aura of like plant life and seeds to protect others. I think that's actually
Right.
calmed down this session because of Tommy. I think,
Yeah, I think next-
it's under strain now as a result. I think she's
Yeah,
getting
I
a
was gonna
sense that like
say-
she doesn't have to protect. She doesn't have to be the person washing out, because I think that's the other part she got out of seeing Tommy. Tommy's going through his shit, but also he's a really just awesome guy on his own. He'll be good. She doesn't have to worry about everyone the same way she always does. So I think that's the one under strain now.
Okay, I like that, and I think I think because of that, I think we're gonna see what happens when we meet back next time. On what does I feel like at that point, I think I know what I want to do for Miri on that front next time. So yes, I'm gonna be mean.
I am in danger.
I feel like we're gonna get in a fight next time. Yeah.
We might. We'll see what happens. We'll see what
Let the
happens.
evening begin.
All right, and then so there's that, and I think that's it for the geek out. So let's just toss out some quick things for announcement. So just as a reminder for everybody, a lot of us will be over on Dumpstat Charisma over for Extra Life next weekend. So we will not be running Royal Flush next week because we will be participating and helping out with Dumpstat and Smurf. So you will probably see, at least for sure, Kate, myself, and Smurf there for many hours of the day. So if you'd like to see our faces, sure, come hang out. And if you don't like to see our faces, please just come for the kids and help us out. For the kids, hashtag. And we have a lot of great giveaways. I'll let Smurf talk about Extra Life on Dumpstat because that's the whole thing over there. So why don't we go ahead and get to our outros and we can get that done. So why don't we start off with Kate, since Kate, that way Kate can see if we can find anyone to raid.
Hi, I'm Kate. I go by Me in Midair on the internet. I stream here with this great group. I also stream over at twitch.tv/SoManyGames every other Tuesday or every other Thursday, depending on the week. This week, it's Trek Tuesday, where I play the captain of the USS Norman Borlaug, so come check that out. And again, next weekend is Extra Life. Come check that out. I do have something to yell about the end, but we can do that after everybody else does their outros.
Cool. And I'll go ahead. I'll let Smurf have the longest bit. So Angela, why don't we have you?
Hello there, everybody. I'm Angela, otherwise known as Phoenix24Fem on Twitter, or PhilosophyFem on Patreon, where I'm a professional writer and poet, and I have currently 145 pieces available for viewing on there, half of which are public accessible, the other half are patron locked. So if you're interested in a lot of trans, disability-related, and also justice and or trauma-related material, poems, pieces, and things of that sort, as well as a little bit of world lore on the first world setting I created, which I will need to update with new names because I've scrapped all the D&D influences as best I can, because it takes a while. I am also working on my own new game. I have a working title of Woodland Wanderers, which is a game inspired by For the Queen, Ryutama, and a Winnie the Pooh movie, The Search for Christopher Robin, where you play little critters going on an adventure for a year to find their missing human best friend. Still in the works. We'll likely need to actually spend a lot of time on it. But yeah, I'm working on that. I am one half of the Queerly Yours relationship podcast with my partner of 9+ years. I am a writer over at Art for Ourselves, which is an online QTPOC writing media collective. And I am also a GM over on Heroes Without Limits Mondays, 2 p.m. EST for the Plains of Providence Quest RPG campaign, as well as on rotating Fridays, every other Friday, being over on Utopia for the Chimera RPG happening over there, where I play a trans-illusionist reality warper, because I have a brand and I stick to it very strongly.
Brands are important.
And I'm also a musician for hire. I do a lot of things. I forget all of them until I have to do this. I think that's good for now.
Thank you, Angela. Simon?
Hi, my name is Simon. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I write games, tabletop role-playing games, over at colorspraygames.itch.io. So go check that out and add some new games to your life and support an indie developer. I am a voice actor for the Penumbra Podcast, which is a queer sci-fi and fantasy audio drama. If you want to see yourself represented in stories, you can listen at the Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepενumbrapodcast.com, and wherever fine podcasts are downloaded. I am a GM for Magpie Games for the Curated Play program. If you want to find out how you can get linked up with me or many other fantastic pro GMs playing games like Masks, Bluebeard's Bride, and the upcoming Root role-playing game, you can go to magpiegames.com/curated-play. Not running anything in November or December because, wouldn't you know it, I've got some projects to work on. The cat's out of the bag, so I can announce this now because it's on Kickstarter. But I am writing a clearing for Root the role-playing game. It's going to be in the Book of Clearings, which is a Kickstarter stretch goal. So if you're excited about Root the role-playing game, you can play a whole settlement with its own unique NPCs and plot hooks and things that is designed to be a one-shot or slot into a campaign. Extremely happy to be working on it and very excited about it. And come back on Wednesdays for Haven, A Land Reclaimed at 8 p.m. Eastern, which is our game with an all-event podcast. We're doing post-colonial fantasy, playing Free from the Yoke, where we figure out what life is like after Empire and the scars of colonialism. And then coming up in this month, starting on the 15th, on Go_JG, Jess's channel, I and some other folks from this channel, Kevin and Viditya, we will be playing After the War by Jason Peitra, which is going to be very exciting. Sci-fi, mimetic horror, I think, is the tone. So go check that out.
Yay! I love magnetic horror. All right, and we have Smurf.
Hi, I'm going last. I have a podcast now. It's Flanking Bonus. I do the podcast with my friend Dana. It comes out every other week. The first episode is up now. If you're interested in transcriptions, those are available on our website if you want to read along as you listen, because accessibility is very important. I am also a member of Soul Bear RPG, Dumpstat Charisma, and this channel, All Nerds Here, various times throughout the week. And the big thing is all three of those channels, along with So Maddie Games, are going to be part of the extra live stream that Jackie foreshadowed at the beginning of this. That's happening November 7th and 8th, which is Saturday and Sunday this weekend. We are raising money for the Children's Miracle Network. We have a full slate of games and stuff scheduled for you. We have right now 9 one-shots and maybe a couple hours of some Among Us. It might be 10 one-shots. We'll see. There are so many great donation prizes that were given to us to raffle away. We're giving away 9 character art commissions that range in value from like $45 to $150, like full-page portrait type shit. We're giving away some indie TTRPG PDFs. Starships and Worms, I believe, is one of them, along with Fallout Wasteland Wanderers 2E. We have Steam codes. We have Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam gift cards. We have some custom character notebooks that Kate's making, along with custom character pages. All this is available up for the raffle. You donate $10 and you get a ticket. You can have as many tickets as you can comfortably afford to support the kids, so that you can win an amazing prize from our raffle. Not only does that $10 donation get you a ticket into our raffle, but also gets you into the raffle of Cascadian Gamers, which is the team that we're a larger part of. Cascadian Gamers raffle has some big time prizes, including an Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5. So again, $10 gets you a ticket You can purchase as many tickets as you're comfortably able to donate for a chance to win not only some great TTRPG prizes, but also some like big ticket shit like a Xbox or a PS5. That's all
Yo.
starting. That's all starting on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and we're going all the way through Sunday until like 11:15 at night or 1 in the morning or whatever the math is, 2 in the morning Eastern.
Amy says don't forget incentives.
Oh yeah. We also have a bunch of in-game incentives. So if you want to make the players' lives a living hell, or you want to like make Kate sing a song, or you want Jackie Two Swords to show up, like there are things to happen in the game with incentive donations. Kate and I are also running one-shots after Extra Life that you can buy into those games with donations of $35. Kate's game is going to be a Punies game. And then there's also going to be a game that I'm going to DM that I'm trying to gear towards new players to get new people involved in TTRPGs. People that are like on the edge and outskirts that are interested but don't want to make that jump. The game that I'm designing is for them to get into it. So yes, there are incentives for a lot of the games, including the Alien game, where you can increase the number of encounters and make it more dangerous. Or if you're a baller, you can donate enough to get them access to the armory so that maybe they can survive.
But they probably won't.
But they probably won't.
It's Alien.
Yeah.
I'm playing in that game, by the way. So
You probably won't.
I won't. I probably won't make it.
Yeah.
If last night's Phasmophobia games that I played with Brian last night were an indicator, I'm probably gonna die first.
So that's what we got going on. That's like taking it up and consuming my life right now.
Yeah.
It would mean the world to me for you to be there and to support us. It's for a great cause, and that's what I got.
Yay, thank you, Smurf. Yes, you will see me. I will be running a game too, but it'll be in the very late hours. But if you happen to be there, I will be running a misspent youth game where everyone is playing as young mutants in a terrible corporate boarding school. So this will be fun. And so yeah, I have been your master of ceremonies for this game. My name is Jackie, better known as Death by Mage. I am sometimes, occasionally, a award-winning tabletop RPG writer. I also am here primarily on Sundays. I am scattered throughout the wayward winds of Twitter's chat, so you will find me somewhere, anywhere. And I also create games on DM's Guild, DriveThruRPG, and also on Itch. I am right now near the end of my Halloween sale for Itch, so if you want 4 of my spooky games, they are 50% off right now for the awesome, or you can get them all 4 of them for the awesome unlucky price of $13 for my Triskaidekaphobia Halloween sale price. And also, I am the creative lead for the Unbreakable Anthology, which is a Pan-Asian inspired mythos and folklore inspired anthology series. Right now, the first volume is for D&D 5e. We are going to be releasing a lot more volumes coming out in 2021. So please support all of us. It is available on DriveThruRPG. You can find it there. And I think that's it for me. So the last few closing words I want to give to everybody is, if you're voting, don't mail it in at this point. Just go. Or at least drop off the ballot.
Or drop off the
Yep.
ballot.
Yep.
Can I say something? Or
Yes.
did you have something else you wanted to say?
No, I just want to say trans rights is human rights.
Yeah.
And Black Lives Matters. As always.
They do, because you know what, people, this hasn't fucking stopped. I know we're all really focused on voting, and that's important, but what you have to understand is people are still dying. I live in Vancouver, Washington, for those of you who don't know or haven't watched PWN, where I set this, but we lost a 21-year-old black man to police violence this last week, and it's not okay. It's never okay, and no one should be dying. So it's still a problem. It's still a thing. And Black Lives Matter. It doesn't go away after a couple months because we forget about it. And we need to be using our voices to say things. And I'm going to speak specifically to white people, that we need as white people to be using our voices and our privileges to speak out and say things. Because we're the ones who have to do this, or nothing's going to change. They've been telling us forever that this is a problem, and we've been like, oh, whatever, it's not a problem. That's not okay. It doesn't stand anymore, and we need to stop that. This is bullshit, and it needs to end now. So yes, vote. Voting is fucking important. vote for who you need to vote for. Get those people out of here. Fuck the Republicans. But also, let's stand in the gap for the people who we need to stand in the gap for and use our privilege accordingly. Sorry. If anyone else needs to say something, you can, but I've got...
I mean, I can add to that.
Yeah.
Just also practical matters. When in doubt, if you are uncertain, as anyone tuning in, hearing that and is like, but I have feelings in response to that. Well, first, find someone who's willing to listen to your feelings. Who you actually ask about listening to your feelings instead of dumping it on folk of color, because we're all tired. Remarkably, we're also all tired by gestures towards state of the world. And also, when in doubt, like, support creative projects, support funds. There's a lot of funds going on for folks, like whether it's just moving out of shitty situations, health concerns, or just any number of things that are under threat in this administration. There's always stuff you can be doing. If you're unsure, look. If you don't know where to look, ask people who have the patience. If you don't have people to ask, there's your first task. Learn to actually be good enough and, expand your circles to have the people who are willing to work with you to know more. Because some of this always comes down to, like, who do you know?
Mhm.
Who you willing to like support and be there for?
And if you need to reach out to somebody, go ahead. Hit me up. Okay?
As always, thank you everybody for tuning in, and as always, there's always more to do, but we're all working on this. This hasn't stopped, which also means all the good that can happen from what we're doing hasn't stopped either. As overwhelming as everything is, there's still more that can be done, which always means there's still more good that can be done. That is a hopeful thing to look forward to, and also it helps you from being crushed by the weight of the world.
Yeah.
It's what I stick to a lot. There's always more good that can happen. It means it never ends, but that's the good part of it. Good never ends. It's more you can always keep doing.
Yep.
On that note,
On that note,
On that
we
note,
will see you in 2 weeks, everybody.
we're gonna raid Dice Queen Die. They're an awesome creator. They're playing Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Get your emotes ready and go share that love.
What are we doing?
We're out. We're out.